Most people think they have plenty of time. They waste today planning for tomorrow, waste this year, preparing for the next. But there's a chilling truth that one of Rome's wisest philosophers discovered 2,000 years ago. A truth so brutal it made emperors weep and slaves find freedom. Lucius Seneca wrote that life is not short. We just waste most of it. But first, let me tell you why this matters more today than ever, and why understanding this could be the difference between a life well lived and a life full of regret. Picture this. It's 65 AD. The Roman Empire stretches across 3 continents. In the heart of this vast civilization, a man sits in his study, watching the sun set over the eternal city. This isn't just any man. This is Lucius Annaeus Seneca, advisor to emperors, playwright, millionaire, and one of history's greatest Stoic philosophers. But here's what's remarkable about this moment. Here's what Seneca wrote that changes everything. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Think about that for a moment. He's not saying life is too short. He's saying we're throwing it away. But this goes deeper than you might think. Seneca identified 3 types of people who waste their lives, and I guarantee you'll recognize yourself in at least one of them. First, there are those who live entirely in the past. These people spend their present moments replaying yesterday's failures or basking in yesterday's glories. Seneca called them the tormented because they're essentially choosing to live in a world that no longer exists. Then, there are those who live entirely in the future, always planning, always preparing, always waiting for the right moment to actually live. Sound familiar? I'll be happy when I get the promotion. I'll start living when I retire. I'll pursue my dreams when I have more time. Seneca saw through this delusion. He knew that people who constantly postpone living will postpone it right until their deathbed. But here's the truly shocking part, and this is where modern Stoicism becomes revolutionary. There's a third group that even smart people fall into, and it's the most tragic of all. These are the people who mistake being busy for being alive. They fill every moment with activity, with productivity, with important tasks. But here's what this looks like in practice, and why Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, built an entire empire using this principle. When you truly inhabit your time, when you're fully present in each moment, something extraordinary happens. An hour of focused, intentional living becomes worth more than weeks of scattered, distracted existence. I learned this lesson the hard way. For years, I lived in Seneca's second category, always planning for tomorrow. I had 5-year plans, 10-year goals, elaborate schemes for future happiness. But I was missing today. Every single day. And that's when I discovered what Seneca meant by reclaiming your time. It's not about doing less, it's about doing with intention. It's not about having more time. It's about being more present in the time you have. This is the transformation that Stoic philosophy offers, and it's why ancient wisdom feels so relevant in our modern world of infinite distractions. But there's something even more profound happening here. When you start living this way, when you stop wasting your life on things that don't matter, you don't just change your relationship with time. Here's Seneca's final. When you truly grasp, not just intellectually, but in your bones, that your time is finite, everything changes. That conversation with your friend becomes precious. That sunset becomes a masterpiece you might never see again. That work you're doing becomes either deeply meaningful or obviously worthless. This is why modern Stoicism is experiencing such a renaissance. In our world of infinite scroll, endless notifications, and constant connectivity, we've become more disconnected from the present moment than any generation in human history. But the solution isn't in some new app or productivity hack. It's in wisdom that's been waiting for us for 2,000 years. Here's what happens when you truly internalize this. You stop living in preparation for life and start actually living. You stop saving your best self for someday and start being your best self today. You stop waiting for permission from the future and start taking responsibility for the present. And this is where Seneca's philosophy becomes not just ancient wisdom, but a practical guide for self-improvement in the modern world. Because once you understand that time is not money, time is... The ancient Romans had a phrase, memento mori, remember death. Not to live in fear, but to live with purpose. Not to dwell on endings, but to celebrate beginnings every single day. Seneca believed that philosophy without action is worthless. So, don't just watch this video and move on to the next distraction. Let this moment be the moment you stop wasting your life and start living it. And if you're ready to dive deeper into Stoic wisdom that can transform how you see yourself and your place in the world, you know what to do. Your life is not a dress rehearsal.